This is the complete guide on how to use Claude for construction tasks. I'll show you how to set up and use it and some different strategies and techniques. But just remember, as we go through the video, anything I say or show you is going to be way less useful than you spending 10 minutes setting it up and playing with it yourself. So let's get started. Everything I'm going to be showing you is on the desktop version of Claude. So to set it up, just go to the claude.ai website and download the desktop app. And some of the features I'm going to be showing, like Claude Code and Claude Cowork, you do need the Pro account for, but some of the other features like the general chat interface and using projects, you don't. So when you first download and open Claude, you're obviously greeted with the general chat interface, which you're probably used to. At the top, you can toggle between chat, Cowork, and code. Again, I'll explain what Cowork and code are later. There is some of these other options again, which I'm going to slowly work through, like how to customize it. You can go to a history of all your chats and you can create artifacts and projects. But the most basic thing you'll be greeted with is, as you can probably guess, a chat interface where you can type questions and get answers. So through the chat interface, you can toggle between the model you're using. So Haiku is the fastest for quick answers, but it is also the most basic. So it'll generally give you, if you've got complex things to do, you'll need a more advanced model. But for basic things, it's fine. You can use Sonnet, which is their mid-range model, and Opus, which is their more complex reasoning model. So if you are using Opus, it is much more expensive to run. So if you're on like the $17 a month plan, if you're using Opus, you will chew through your credits very, very fast. Now, you can also set certain tools to your chat interface. So for example, you can search web search on or off, which will allow Claude to search the web, or you can leave it off. You can have different styles. I mean, I don't really use the styles, and you can toggle on or off different connectors. So connectors basically allow Claude to read and write to your other apps. So for example, I've got Google Drive, Canva, Gmail, Notion, Smartsheet, Airtable, Bluebeam, and just like, again, you can completely customize this to what apps you use. And all your previous chats will be stored along the left-hand side. So the most basic and straightforward use of Claude is just to prompt it. So if I can ask it stuff like, what is the requirements for concrete cover in the Australian standards? So this is just a general simple question. I'm just calling the Haiku model, and it's gone and searched on the web and come back with an answer to my question. Again, very simple, basic questions and answers. Now, while this video isn't necessarily meant to be about prompting strategies, I will touch on them briefly. So number one, which might be a little bit counterintuitive, is for every new task, start a new chat. The reason this is important is because AI models have limited context windows. So if you have a long chat with lots and lots of back and forward between Claude, it is going to use up that limited context window. And as the amount of information in the context window increases, the chance of it accurately recalling or referring to your previous information is going to decrease. The second thing, which again is maybe a little bit more nuanced, is how to think about prompting and what you actually want AI to do. So remember, these large language models, they are just trained on a huge amount of data, and they have these recollections of their training data. So what they are really, really good at is taking input information and reformatting it. So if I ask Claude a task like, I'll upload a construction contract and I'll say, can you please review this contract for risks? So, well, it's going to take a second to upload the document, but once it's uploaded, it can now analyze my contract. So when I actually ask it to do a task like this, it's doing quite a bit of reasoning. So it seems like a simple task, but I'm asking, can you review this contract for risks? It has to determine what is a risk, what risks matter, what format do I want to output, what level of detail, how do I extract data from a PDF, what to focus on. It's doing all this background reasoning, or what I refer to as unconstrained reasoning. So it's thinking through the format we want the output, what risks we care about, all this stuff. So it's doing a lot of like this unconstrained reasoning. In general, this is a bad way to use AI. So here would be a much better way to get AI to perform that same task. So instead of just uploading a contract, I've uploaded my standard conditions of contract, which is basically a list of all the different standard construction terms and what I would be willing to accept. And I've also uploaded a example contract review template with examples. So exactly how I want it to structure the output. I would then prompt it to say, perform a comprehensive review of this construction contract against my standard terms. Use the contract review template to structure your output. So then I can run. Now, the reason this is a much better way to prompt it for the same question is instead of the AI having to answer all these questions, like what are terms it should care about, what format do I want the output, basically we're giving it guardrails with examples and input data. So it's got a very constrained task. It's not doing a whole lot of unconstrained reasoning. It's basically looking at the contract, comparing this to my standard conditions of contract, and then preparing this in my contract review template. So through this process, we're going to get a much, much better answer to our question, and it's going to come back in an output format that we can actually use. Now let's look what it has returned to us. It has given us a contract review in the format that we originally requested it to, and we can also just download this to Excel, and now we can edit and use it. So that's a much better way to use AI than what we originally did. But let's pay a little bit more attention to how it has actually gone and done this. So if we look at step by step what it's done, it is seen that we've uploaded PDF and Excel files, and it has actually gone and referenced what it refers to as a skill, which is basically a reusable set of code. So if we're actually careful with how we look at this, we've used a lot of the reasoning power of the model. Again, all these models have a limited context window to actually take the information out of this Excel file and also convert the PDF into text. So again, all these models, the base models, they read text in, text out. Anything you do like uploading different types of files, uploading Excel, you're using reasoning of the model to actually process the information. Again, the core thing we wanted to do is to analyze this contract and identify risks in our format. All this work it's doing to extract stuff from Excel files, to extract stuff from PDF files, it uses a lot of the reasoning capabilities of the model for something that is genuinely not valuable to our task. And again, because Claude is expensive, you will actually find you chew through a lot of your usage doing stuff like converting documents to different formats. So here's a better way, or here's a third way we could do the same prompt where we're leveraging the models to do what we actually want them to. We could use something like Gemini or chatgpt, which has much cheaper usage, and we can upload that same contract into it and get it to turn it into a text file. So I uploaded the whole PDF into Gemini, and Gemini is really good at long documents and tasks like this, and is basically page by page turning this PDF document into text. Now, there's special tools online you can use to do this more easily and more efficiently, but this is much better input to give to Claude because it doesn't have to go and do this whole thing from scratch every time. So all I've done here is I copied the text version of the contract and I say, please analyze my construction contract and fill out my departures register. Use my standard terms list. Now, instead of actually putting the Excel documents in there, all I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the data from my Excel document and paste it into the chat. Again, now Claude doesn't have to do any sort of document parsing. So here is my standard terms. And here is my example departure register. And I'll copy that in to, please complete an Excel register. So if you see in this example, again, it doesn't have to do any of the document parsing or structure. It is simply going to go through and look at the text. So it's doing much less reasoning. It'll operate much more effectively. The next useful feature of Claude is this feature of projects. So projects are basically where you can create one set of instructions, one set of documents or context and use it across chat. So I have projects that connect to my YouTube that help me design titles and thumbnails. I have them that help me write videos and edit videos. I've got one for learning Spanish. I also have ones for different projects I'm working on. So if I click into a project, you have chats under the project, you have different project files. So these same project files can be accessed as required based on each new chat, and you have repeatable sets of system instructions that can go into each chat. Projects allow you to upload bigger documents than you could directly into a chat interface. And then when you actually go and create a chat within a project, it only pulls context out of the document as required. So it's a better way to manage context within a chat. Within a Claude chat, you can create artifacts. So an artifact is any sort of reusable PDF, HTML file. So for example, this was an artifact I created that is a Gantt chart of a project. So that generally is running some sort of HTML code, which is basically building some sort of visual display, or you can use them to also create PDFs. Now, the other thing with a project is a project has memory. A memory is basically across all of your chats, Claude starts to extract the key objectives you're trying to achieve and the key bits of background context. So you can actually open this memory file and you can edit it as you want. So this memory is accessible in every chat. And this is something Claude automatically builds as you go through and create more chats. You have memory across chats, but you also have memory across all your conversations. So for example, if you go down to capabilities under settings and you scroll down to memory, you can see the memory Claude is building across chat. So every chat you create with Claude may determine there is important bits of information here that it wants to take into its memory. Now, this memory you can open, you can edit, you can basically change what Claude remembers about around you. But all this is, it's called memory, but really it is basically a set of information that gets loaded into every chat you create with Claude. The next important thing to understand about Claude is customization. So there's two ways you can customize Claude. You can connect Claude to your tools. So for example, I have connected Claude to my Gmail, my Google Drive, my Notion account. And all this means is it can read and write from these different apps. So because I've connected Claude to my Gmail, it has access to my email. It can look through my email inbox. It can find things. It's all about basically connecting Claude to your tools so it can do more useful stuff. Now, unfortunately, if you look at the current connectors library, there aren't really any construction management softwares or anything particularly useful for us other than just general productivity tools. The second way you can customize Claude is by creating skills. A skill is just a repeatable workflow that you store. And this is quite a powerful concept to understand for the same reason when I was going back and doing that contract review example is that I said AI should be used as a tool to reformat data rather than to reason or do unconstrained reasoning from scratch. So for example, I have a skill that builds Gantt charts. It is a step-by-step process that whenever I ask Claude in any chat or under any project to create a Gantt chart, it goes through and does these exact set of steps and outputs in this exact format. Every time I want to create a Gantt chart, it's going to do it the exact same way in the format that I like, in a format I am familiar with and have customized to how I want to do something. And it is also going to use a lot less memory and context when it's doing it. Now, so all these features we have spoken about are available in the general Claude user interface. At the top of the Claude desktop app, there are 3 tabs. You can have chat, which is what we've discussed, which is what you're most familiar with. You can have Cowork and Claude Code. So Claude Cowork can read and edit documents on your desktop directly. The way it works is you set it up to operate within a folder on your desktop. It then has access to every file within that folder. It still has access to all your skills and all your connectors, but now it can read, edit, and write files on your desktop. So as an example, I set up Claude Cowork in a folder where I had a project scope of works and some documents, and I got it to take my templates and fill out my procurement templates. Claude Code, on the other hand, is a tool that allows you you need no technical experience to be able to do this. You can allow it to create and run code. Maybe you've heard online a lot of the discussions about AI replacing software engineers. If you think about something AI is really good at, it is really good at writing code. The other thing with code is that you can run code. It either compiles and does what you want or it doesn't. So then you can test and iterate and fix it. And then basically turn a process into a set of code that connects to all the different tools available that you use day to day. So for example, in this one, I set it up to connect to my QuickBooks account and I can extract my expense data and put it into an Excel register. Then I can store this set of code, and every time I want a report of my expenses on a project, for example, I can simply use Claude Code to run that same set of code over and over again. The next way we've got to use Claude is the Claude plugin in Excel. Now, the difference between using something like Claude Cowork to edit an Excel file and the Claude for Excel plugin is fundamentally that Claude Cowork has access to all your background information and skills. Claude for Excel is simply, it simply knows what's in the Excel document and what you tell it. So Claude Cowork is a bit clunky and slow to run. Claude for Excel is really good for basically replacing having to enter data into a spreadsheet. So for this example, I took 3 subcontractor quotes I had, and I got Claude, I uploaded the Word docs of the quotes, and I got Claude to turn this into a big comparison. All the context it needs to do the task was easily loadable into the chat. The other thing I'm finding Claude for Excel awesome for is building complex workbooks instead of actually having to use macros or things like this. So for example, I wanted to build a Gantt chart. Claude in a single prompt built this entire editable Gantt chart. So I can do things like, say I want to change the duration of this to 20 days. It will go through and automatically update durations and linkages. Again, one single prompt and it built me a Gantt chart. Now, the final way to use Claude, and I think this is a little bit gimmicky, I'm not 100% sure it's the most useful thing ever, is to actually use Claude within your browser. So basically in the same way that we interact with a website, we type in information, we can actually get Claude to do the same thing. So for example, I've opened scheduling software, Smartsheet that I use, and I will get it to, can you please build a simple Gantt chart by editing my Smartsheet? It is then going to write data directly into Smartsheet. But again, it tends to be unbelievably slow and not super useful. So I'm finding I can't think of this being incredibly useful, but you can see it actually is starting to update tasks. So the same way we write data into a website, we can use Claude within the browser to do this. So I hope you found that helpful. It was just a very brief overview of some different ways you can use Claude for different construction tasks. Out of all the different large language models, ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, I'm finding that Claude is by far the best large language model for construction tasks. And every day I'm finding new ways to use it. But again, as much of this video was about to show you how to use it, you're going to get much better results by literally spending 10 minutes playing with it yourself.